Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are, well, peanut butter muffins. But they're actually, we're using peanut butter chips, of course, to make them peanut butter. So let's get started. First, let's start off with one stick, a half a cup of butter. Now, if you don't have butter, you prefer margarine, well, go ahead and use margarine, but you need one stick. I broke it up into small pieces because I think it's quicker to cream it and break it up that way. Now, you can certainly use your hand mixer if you prefer. I like to use my stand-up because I think it's a lot quicker for the videos. Now, once you break up that butter, you're going to cream in your sugar, and you're going to need 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Now, spend a few minutes to cream the two, the butter and the granulated sugar. And then you're going to add brown sugar. So you'll need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then again, continue to incorporate it and cream it together. Okay, now I just want to get down there because it tends to stick to the mixing bowl. Okay. The next thing you're going to be putting in is 2 eggs that you've had at room temperature, and I'm going to beat in one at a time. And that's the second one. Now again, spend that minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes till it's very smooth and very silky. All right. Now, to the dry ingredients, you're going to need 1½ cups of cake flour. Now, I really think this recipe calls for cake flour because the muffins come up very light and very delicate. They're not heavy or they're dense, which sometimes they can be with all-purpose flour. Now, if you don't have cake flour, or you'd prefer not to buy it, you can substitute. And what you could do is, actually, I don't want to make it confusing, but take a cup of all-purpose flour in a bowl, okay? And then take 2 tablespoons of that all-purpose flour out, put it aside, and then add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Make sure, though, that it's mixed well and that you want to sift it together. Now, you'll probably have to make another batch of that because you need 1½ cups of cake flour. But that's a way of, substituting. If you don't have cake flour, or perhaps you choose not to buy cake flour, okay? So again, real quickly, just take 1 cup of all-purpose flour in a bowl, remove 2 tablespoons of that all-purpose, set it aside, and then take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to that original bowl of flour that you have, and make sure you mix it and sift it well. But you're going to need another ½ cup, so you should make another batch of it. If you do, I do it many times, I just put it in a separate container and I mark on it the date that I put it together, and I put cake flour on the little canister jar. So that's a way you can do that. So now, going back just a little bit here, again, now I'm adding the 1½ cups of cake flour, and then I'm also going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Now I just almost forgot. You will need a ½ cup of milk, and I'm going to alternate the dry with the wet, okay? So we'll put a little bit of this in. Then I'm going to add my baking powder. And this is when I'm going to start to alternate my melt with my flour. I'm going to raise my speed a little. Add the rest of my cake flour, the rest of my melt. And then I'm just going to beat it till smooth, but don't overbeat them because I really feel we can overbeat them. They tend to get tough. The muffins get tough. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, of course, is to put the little peanut butter chips in. It's a brand name. It starts with R, so I'm sure you know which peanut butter cups I'm talking about. And you'll need 1 cup. I'm using the little mini peanut butter chips, okay? Now, you can fold them in by hand, or you can do it as I am with the mixer, but don't beat it too long because you don't want to break them up if you do it this way. But it's just faster for the video. I went ahead and measured that was 1 cup of the peanut butter chips. Now I'm just going to take the excess off my my paddle here. Even when you're putting this recipe together with these muffins, they really smell good. And then when you start baking it, and you can really smell those peanut butter chips in it. Oh, the whole kitchen smells so good. Okay, the batter will look like this. You can see all those pretty little mini chips in there. Okay, now it's going to make you 10 nice size muffins rather than 12. And being I have 2 missing, what I like to do is I fill to about half of just water into the empty wells here, so that when they bake, the muffins tend to bake more evenly than to leave the wells dry. But that's up to you. And then go ahead and start filling your liners. Now, if you don't want to use liners, then, you know, heavily grease your pan because you don't want these muffins to stick. Okay. And I'm just using a medium-sized scoop right now to do that. You can just put it in, of course, with a tablespoon. Okay. Now you're going to bake these at 375 degrees, and they are going to take you about 25 minutes to bake up. And then I usually let them sit for about 5 minutes or so before I start removing them. So I put them, you know, on a cooling rack. Okay, and then I just go back and I even out, using up all the batter for these 10 muffins. These muffins really are nice with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in the morning, maybe at breakfast or at a luncheon. They come out so nice. They really do. I'm just going to get the rest of my batter out of here. I really hate to waste any of it. Okay. And that way I make sure that I got them even. Okay, so again, once again, 375 for at least 25 minutes. Use a cake tester or a toothpick to know when it comes out dry that the muffin is baked. So let me set that aside. I'm going to rinse my hands quickly because I want to show you what they look like once they do come out of the oven and that they're baked up. And this is what they will look like. They come out a beautiful golden brown, these 10 little muffins. Let's open one up and then I'm going to cut one for you so that you can see the inside of the muffin. And we'll just pull off the liner here. These are still a little bit warm yet, so they're sticking a little bit to my liner here, but you'll get a general idea. When I open them up, you'll see these beautiful little mini peanut butter mini chips in them. It is a very light, delicate muffin. I don't know if you can see me pressing down on them, but how moist and light, and then you have all those nice little chips inside of it. Oh, these muffins just taste wonderful. Warm, or like I said, just cool them and you can eat them cold or pop them in the microwave for just 30 seconds or something, and they really are just delicious. I do want to tell you the recipe will not be below the video. I no longer do that due to people that are taking my work, claiming it as theirs, bringing it to different sites, and it's just not worth the time anymore. So I hope that I went through the ingredient list carefully enough with you that if you're interested in trying this recipe, you could write down how much of everything to make this recipe. If you try this recipe and you like it, we'll leave a comment because I'd love to hear from you. But I also want to remind you quickly to watch me solely on YouTube. I don't put my videos anywhere else but YouTube. And so many times when I find my work in other locations where people are claiming it's theirs, people have written in questions and I can't answer them. It is so frustrating. But if you watch me on YouTube, you comment or write your questions on YouTube, I will in a timely manner answer whatever your concerns are. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to even give me a like to the video, boy, I'd really appreciate it. So thanks again. I'll see you soon.